We are still in our Hall of Fame legendary arc. And for this episode, man, we're taking it outside the United States. We're going foreign. We're going on an international tour right now. We are talking about our personal top 10 list of who are the best 10 international non-American foreign hoopers in the NBA. So before we get into our list, Nelson, let's go ahead and get like our honorable mentions out the way of who we kind of just we saw them. We were like, man, we respect your game, what you did and everything, but it's not enough. And it's kind of getting off our favor. So give me somebody or a couple people who were like, man, I respect you. I like what you did, but I can't put you in my top 10.
Okay, so we call it the honorable mentions. First up on the honorable mention, probably won't be a surprise to most of y'all because he get a lot of hate anyway. I feel like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm ready to talk about this one.
First up on the honorable mentions, Mr. Rudy Gobert. and you know what's crazy, bro? When Rudy was playing for Utah, I feel like a lot of people liked Rudy. Like nobody hated him. You know what I mean? He won a couple DPOYs. He was leading the league in blocks every year, all that good stuff, and he was good in guarding the pick and roll for the most part. But I don't think nobody hated Rudy until that COVID situation hit. And when that happened, the world never forgot because they hated him ever since. They always be talking about how sorry, like he's sorry, he don't even be on the court, he ain't got no skill, this and that. Folks be saying some wild things. And then he just still won 2 more DPOYs since then. And people just, they don't like it, dog. Let's just say that they don't like it. But Rudy is still amazing, man. 4 DPOYs. And as me and my old coach used to say, they ain't just giving out awards. So,
Yeah.
You say what you want. I didn't have him on the list, but he is an honorable mention. Another honorable mention, we got Hakeem Olajuwon, another guy with a couple DPOYs. I threw him on the honorable mention because, number one, I feel like he didn't have a very long stretch in his career where he was that dominant. Now, don't get me wrong. I think he won 3 DPOYs, if I'm right. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2 or 3.
Let me see.
Yeah, I want to say he won 3 DPOYs. You know, them Chicago Bulls teams was great. He was all defensive teams, all that good stuff.
So he won DPOY 1 year, but he had 3 defensive teams.
That's what it was. My fault. He won a DPOY 3 all defensive teams. So, but that's not a very long stretch of dominance. So, I had to throw him honorable mention. I feel like the guys I have on my list definitely carried a little bit more weight than his career. A couple more guys I got. Marc Gasol. Love Marc. Also think his prime wasn't super long, super dominant. Them Grizzlies teams was fun to watch, though. I miss them Grizzlies teams, but he stole a ring with the Lakers. Not the Lakers, the Raptors with Kawhi and them. He was a solid piece. But just like I said, just didn't have a very dominant career. And then after Mark, I go Peja Stojakovic, another great European player, one of the first great Europeans. Along with Vlade Divac and Dražen Petrović, who I also have on my honorable mention. These guys kind of paved the way for a lot of the Serbian and Croatian players that you see in the league today. And I played in Serbia, so they got the utmost respect for guys like that. You know, Peja, Vlade, and Dražen Petrović, they all of our Serbian descent. And I think, I want to say one of them is Croatian, but they all have some like Serbian in them. All those, countries kind of in the same area. But, and then last up on my honorable mentions, I got to throw Toni Kukoc in there. 3 rings in the Michael Jordan era, a very solid piece in that time frame. One of the first great European players, also. So I felt like he deserved to be in there just because he was one of the first. Now, you look at his career and his numbers. Of course, it don't stack up with the rest of these guys or a lot of the guys that I'm naming. But number one, you play with Michael Jordan, you probably ain't gonna have the super great numbers like everybody else. But he was a solid piece on 3 championship teams. And I would dare say they needed him throughout those 3 runs. I would not think they would win 3 in a row without him. So, y'all take that how you want to, but To be real, I mean, a piece as big as Tony Kukoc hitting shots the way he could hit shots, needed guys like that to win. So I threw him in the honorable mention with him being one of the first guys. So that's my honorable mention list. I feel like those guys deserve to be mentioned. So I know it's kind of a lot. There's dang near a whole team, but I feel like they deserve to be mentioned just because they went in the top 10. But everybody can't get in the 10. You know how it is. So that's it.
All right, so I don't know what happened, but I can't hear you. So I'm gonna have to end the recording and come back in.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I ain't stopped talking because was it still recording? Is it recording right now?
Hold on. Well, yeah, man, I want to piggyback and go back to Joakim. So I was thinking about him and Al Horford, and I was thinking like, who was the better hooper? Like, I think, of course, Al's still hooping, so some people would probably say him. He got him a ring and everything, but player for player, who would you say is better between Al and Joakim?
Oof. In a prime, I would say Al probably better for the offensive side of the ball that he can bring, and he ain't no slouch on defense neither. You know what I mean? Jakeem wasn't really a big offensive threat. Like, now, don't get me wrong. Early in Al's career, he wasn't shooting like he is now. He kind of, adjusted to the game today. But then that's part of the reason why he's still around, because he's adjusted his game to how the game is played now. Now he can space the floor, that corner jumper good. You know what I mean? He know what he's doing. Jakeem was the way Jakeem played, he's like a dinosaur now. You know what I mean? The Andre Drummond, tight roll, block shots, rebound, protect the rim, stay near the paint, stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong, you still kind of need that. I ain't trying to say you don't need that at all, but Jakeem, like, we seen the videos of Jakeem taking the jump shot. It don't look good. It's not pretty. So I would say Al for that reason, that offensive side of the ball, what he could bring. Al was an all-star a couple times in Atlanta, and he's still a solid piece today in Boston. So, yeah, I'd take Al for the long run. But the defensive side of the ball, now, if I had to start a team with one person, it'd be Al. But, like, if I had already, like, my stars and my scores set up, I'd probably take Jakeem, But, that's just a difference of opinion, I guess, maybe. But Al probably a better overall player.
Yeah, overall player, I probably have to say Al. But I think Joakim was it's kind of weird to say that Joakim was a better player, because I think Joakim had a higher high. Like, he was
Defensive player of the year?
Not even just that. It was like MVP talks. It was a year where D Rose went down, but the Bulls were still like top 3 in the East, I believe, around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because Joakim was kind of carrying that team. That's when he's going to triple double run, and he was like putting up stupid numbers. And it's like, boy, what you doing over there? Like, who? Like, the Bulls still floating, and it's like, no Derrick Rose, but y'all still top 3, top 2, wherever space they were in the East. So I think Joakim had higher highs than Al, player wise. And the fact that he did that in spite of his offense being how bad it was to an extent, or how funky it was, he still produced and performed. So I can't just, just concede to Al off of that, because I think Joakim had higher highs than him. And he won DPOY. So it's like, if we're going off of individual accolades, Joakim probably has the higher high overall. But if we're going game for game, Al's game probably is better, because he's able to produce. He's more likely to give you 20-10 game night in, night out than Joakim was. Even though Al's not that great of a scorer, he's a better scorer than Joakim.
Yeah, for sure. Easily a better scorer than Jakeem. And like I said, Al being able to adjust to the way the game is played today is why he's still around. So, because if Al couldn't shoot, especially... What? Yeah, we holler at you. We appreciate your services. Thank you for everything, Al. But it's close though. I don't want to make it seem like Al just way better, but Al is definitely the better all around player. But since we're doing the comparison game, I want to ask you: so who would you take between Hakeem Olajuwon and Rudy Gobert? Because they both all strictly defense for the most part. You taking one in their prime? Who you taking? Because Rudy got 4 DPOYs now, but Jakeem got 1. But like you said, he had a very high when he was in it when he was going. So Who would you take between the two?
Joakim. His IQ is like another reason I'll probably give him a slight nod over Al is because I think he has a little bit better IQ, but I think he's a slightly better passer as well. And because he's not he's basically a taller Draymond almost
I can see that.
in a sense. I don't think he's definitely as good as a playmaker as Draymond.
But he
But
has
like
some of the skill.
yeah, like if Draymond's an A level playmaker, Joakim's a B level playmaker. That's why I say it like that. Like defense with defense, Draymond might be. It's not a big gap between how good they are defensively. Draymond's better overall because he's had better longevity of it, and he can switch a little bit better because he's smaller. But it's not like a easy watch between who's a better defender. Like, I think Draymond IQ is a little bit higher, and I think Joakim Noah's better because he's taller. He's like 6'11", I believe. So it's like it's not that big of a gap between them two. So I'd rather take a step down of a Draymond that's taller than Rudy Gobert, who is not a liability on offense, but like if you don't have the setup for you, you're not going to do anything. Versus Joakim, I can hand the ball in the high post and he can at least give me something. So I can throw it to him there. If the handoff don't come off right, he has a high enough IQ to still make a play out of it. Versus Rudy is like, catch it, hand off, or reverse it. Get the ball out your hands, bro. Like,
Get it out your hand.
So, but who do you think? Okay, if you're going based off defense, you got to start your defense off. Who would you pick between those two?
If I got to start my defense off, I'm going Jakim strictly for the. I feel like I would be more comfortable switching with a big to guard to big with Jakim Noah than Rudy Gobert. You ever seen Rudy Gobert get put on the island on the perimeter?
All the time.
Brother be like shuffling his feet like, what I do? Like, it's bad for an NBA player. Don't get me wrong, I got a lot of respect for Rudy Gobert. And I ain't think this would turn into the Rudy Gobert segment, but I got a lot of respect for what he does and how he plays the game. Cause I'm a big defensive guy, obviously. When I see him get put on that island and taken advantage of consistently by guards, it makes me lose a little bit of the respect. Because I feel like while I understand rim protection and guarding pick and rolls and stuff the right way, that's a big part of the game. Every team needs a little bit of that. But for you to be defensive player of the year is given to the best defensive player, or supposed to be given to the best defensive player in the league. For you to be consistently getting taken advantage of on defense, it makes me. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Makes you lose a little respect for the award, because it's like you just won DPOY. So in my mind, if I ain't know nothing about basketball, and I came to the game with you or we watching the game, and you say, yeah, that's Rudy Gobert, he defensive player of the year. I'm like, okay, so he like the best defender. And then I see him get put on the island and cook a couple plays in a row. I'm looking at you like, hey, this the defensive player of the year? And y'all, and I gotta say this too, because like, man, like I said, hey, buddy, man, that's funny. I am a defensive player of the year from my college and my conference. Let me tell you, I cannot tell you how many times I'd have been in pickup, practice, in games against other schools, and they said, you supposed to be DPOY. Why you ain't blocking? You DPOY? You defensive player of the year? I cannot tell you how many times people have said that to me, dog, and I be getting mad. So I feel bad doing him like that. But I feel like me having that title when I was playing there, when I was playing at Columbus State, and even now, because they still, every now and then somebody will say that, you know what I mean? And I'm 2 years removed now. When I go there and I play pickup with some of my old friends, old teammates and stuff, some of them still bring it up in game. Like, boy, I thought you were DPOY. That junk get annoying. Because it's like, brother, everybody gets scored on. You know what I mean? Everybody gets scored on. Sometimes players are good. You know what I mean? But, I specifically hate to be that kind of person. To be like, man, you're supposed to be DPOY. But unlike Rudy, I do not be getting taken advantage of consistently. Ain't nobody out here saying, yeah, let Nelson man set the screen so
Yeah,
Nelson
yeah,
got a guard. Nobody doing me like that. Come on
yeah.
now. I ain't never been that guy. So I feel comfortable in saying Jakim is probably, I'm taking Jakim to lead my defense over Rudy. I can't have my defensive leader getting taken advantage of consistently.
Mm-hmm.
How many times do somebody playing the Warriors and they say, hey, let Draymond man come sit the screen?
Yeah.
Nobody. They're not doing that. So, yeah, bro. I'm sorry, I ain't mean to get off on that little tangent, but it do touch my soul a little bit when people be like that. They be like, man, you supposed to be DPOY. I'm like, all right, bro. All right. I'm finna show you.
Yeah, I think that's like the hallmark of, which is a whole other conversation we can get into one day. So I ain't gonna say too much on it, but like the fact that Rudy has, it's one thing to have a weakness in your game or in like that side of the ball, but to have it be highlighted, like I strip this out and I take this one string out and I take it and I can just like take advantage of it and stretch it out how big I want to, says a lot. Like Drew Holiday, Marcus Smart, Tony Allen, like smaller guards, the reason why they're such great defenders, even though they're under, let's say 6'6", is because you automatically think, oh, just shoot over him. Like just take him to the post and shoot over him. It's not that easy, bro. Like it
Some
sounds
shit.
good on paper. It's like, oh man, Drew Holiday 6'4", 6'5", Marcus Smart 6'3", 6'4", Gary Payton, man 6'3", 6'1", 6'1", 6'2", 6'3". Like man, just take him to the paint. Sounds good.
Sound
She get
good.
down and it's like, oh, that boy strong. Oh, he got hands. Never mind. Plan B. Like, so for guards, it's like, oh, just take B down there and be like, cool. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, why ain't moving nowhere? Yeah, what's up? Like I'm here.
I'm here.
So for little guards to have that, it's like automatically think, take him down low. For a big, oh, pull him outside. For Joe Kim, it's like, I'll take him outside, but I don't want like to continually do this. But I can do it. Give me 10 plays against Joe Kim. I feel good on 4 of them, but he is DPOY. He is long and active. He can move his feet. That's where Victor Wembanyama comes in. KG, like all these other guys come in. It's like even Tim Duncan, how unmobile he was. Like it wasn't just like he's gonna be completely be exposed out there. Like he's not gonna be as good as the other guys I mentioned, but he's not gonna be like if I were to do that in today's game with Tim Duncan, you probably would want to switch him less. But it's gonna be like I would rather have him out here than inside. So like if Tim plays down low and Tim plays on the pick and roll, of course I'm taking pick and roll. But it's not just gonna be like a bucket all 10. It's like, oh, we actually have to, because Tim's smart, dude's super smart.
For
So it's not
sure.
gonna be just easy bucket. So but Rudy, man, it's like, man, like that's the game plan, bro. Like expose him. Like it's either to make him just be embarrassed on the outside or just get him out the paint. Like it's one of them two. So we're gonna pull you out. Now you're completely out your comfort zone, out your strength. Now you in your kryptonite. So it's like, boom, got you out the paint. Cool. Swing, rotate, throw it to whoever in that position, get a bucket. So we trashing Rudy. So let's move on, man.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Rudy, you ever hear this? You probably won't. I am all. Hey, I done got me 2 DPOYs in my D2 level. You know what I mean? Don't take it to no disrespect. Hey, I got a lot of respect for the craft, but
Yeah.
the getting put on the island jump, man, you need to work on that, dog. You got to work on moving them feet. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So I'm gonna go over a couple of my honorable mentions. It's really just like I want to say my favorite players, people I like. So starting off with probably one of the first, or two of the first point forwards that we grew up in love watching before point forward was kind of like a sexy thing to have now. Starting with the French man himself, man, Boris Diaw. Like, shout out to Big Boris, man. Like that was my dude, bro. He had such an unorthodox game about him, man, and it was fun watching him play, being like a 6'8" point guard at times between his role with the Spurs and his role with the Suns, and even a little bit with the Hawks. I ain't watched too much of him with the Hawks, but they said that's kind of where his game kind of started to come out some. But man, it was fun watching Boris Diaw, man, especially when he had the freedom to kind of like do him. Like, so imagine Boris in today's game. Like, it would be so much fun watching him, bro. Like, he's almost like Draymond mixed with like the foreign Frenchness of like the foreign guys, like Luka and Joker, where like they just laid back, chilling. Like, he used to come in and just sip his tea or coffee, whichever drink he had, and he just come in like enjoying practice, like just kind of in his own world. He put the shoes on. It's like, bro, I can't. How is this dad bod looking dude getting buckets on me, bro? Like, what is this man doing? Like, that was Boris Diaw. So, shout out to Big Boris, man. And then in the same vein of this, man, point four before his time, Hedo Turkoglu. We had a,
Hito,
I think we had like a whole episode basically talking about him, bro. Like, it was funny, man.
man, love Hito Turkoglu. Played with him on 2K quite a few times. Oh my god.
Yeah, man. So had to throw his name in the conversation. This next guy, man, probably got one of the coldest nicknames in basketball history. He's probably the top 10. AK-47, Andre Kirilenko. Shout out to him, man.
Do we know if he ever named if he got the number 47 on purpose for that specific reason, or did he just happen to be 47? I always wondered about that.
I feel like it just happened for him, to be honest
Because
with you. But he is
47 is not a
Russian?
normal number, you know.
I think he's Russian, bro. So
You know, a lot of times the foreign guys don't be caring what number they got. Like Luka number 77, something like that. Ain't he 77?
yeah,
And then they asked Nikola Jokic about his number. They was like, yeah, when I was, a kid, I was too fat. That was the biggest jersey they had. And they just got that number now. Like, like the foreign guys do not be caring about a number like that.
yeah. So that's why I think he just got it. I don't feel like he had any level of like care about it, and it probably at some point just stuck with him. And
Yeah.
so he's like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I'll keep it. But he is Russian. So I don't know how much that influenced his connection to it. But
That is a
um,
Russian. All right. Well, moving on.
yeah, I had Paige on my honorable mention list too, just somebody to mention. And then another guy I wish we could have saw in today's game would be Luol Deng. Like, I think
Solid.
he would have got a little bit more love and respect for his game. Like, he was a guy that in today's game he probably would have played that 3-4 position a little bit heavier. He would have been in that small ball area. I think we would have seen him shine a little bit more. Now, he didn't have a great shooting uh output during his career, but at the same time, he was in an era where it's like still dumping into the big and 3-point wasn't as heavy as it is now. So, but smart player, like he's probably of that generation, of that era, he's one of the top defenders on the wing for sure. Like, of that era generation, all time, another conversation. But in that era, like Cole was like, bro, I didn't love playing against Luol Deng. It's like, oh, Mamba, Black Mamba, oh, you got like Gold Star, brother. Like, that's the
Stamp.
level of sign you got. So shout out to him. And then last, because I don't want to spoil anybody else, but Serge Ibaka.
Okay. Shout out to
I,
Serge.
I shout out to him, man. Now I think he was Rudy Gobert before Rudy Gobert, minus the hate part we got, because he was real dominant. Like, he was one of them guys where he was talked about, man, why he win DPOY? Why he win this award? Why he win that award? And I think he was like the dominant foreign defensive big before Rudy came and did his thing. So I wanted to mention Serge in this conversation because he's not in my top 10. So at least I have to get his name out there and show him some love, because he was a force to be reckoned with for a while, man. So that's my honorable mention list. Got any comments on that, man, before we get into it?
No, bro. I like your list, man. I feel like I named a lot of the Europeans, and you threw in a good bit of the Africans. So I think that's nice, though, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Got a lot of respect for Luol Deng and Serge Ibaka and them guys, man. I used to love that old OKC team with Serge Ibaka and the rim protection that he provided for them and stuff like that. That was when he was peak Serge Ibaka. I remember the days.
Yeah, I've been saying that. Serge Blocker.
I was there. But yeah, man, that's I'm good with that, man. I'm done with those. So we ready to get into this list?
All right, so we're gonna start off very interesting, but I'm gonna let you start off with who is your 10. So what you got
Who
for me, man?
who is number 10?
Now, like, who was like your in the range of like who you thought your 10 was, and like kind of get in a conversation who you broke down who number 10 was.
Okay, you want me to name names or you want me to just?
Not like your number 10. So like start off with number
Oh,
10, like who,
who
yeah,
was
who
like
you
in the
have
running?
there, yeah.
Okay. Um. So I feel like you probably know too. Like that top five is pretty solidified as of right now. I
Mm-hmm.
would say 5, 6. You pretty much know who's gonna be in there. You know the order might be a little different, but the guys gonna be the same. Then you
Mm-hmm.
get to 7 through 10, and it's like, all right, who do I really want, or who I really believe deserve to be in this list?
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of torn between for that 10 spot. I was thinking about sliding Rudy in there. Honestly, Rudy was gonna kind of be like my first guy off, which is why I mentioned him first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought about some guys who done won championships, who still got the accolades and stuff like that. Um, but I had to throw this guy number 10, and I feel like we might have some pushback on it, but you know it'd be okay. I ain't mad at it. My number 10 spot,
Mm-hmm.
Tony Parker,
Mm.
the Frenchman. I know people gonna probably want him higher. I know you probably want him higher, and I think Tony could be higher. For sure, could be higher. He got 4 NBA titles, 1 Finals MVP. But the thing that kind of held him back for me, and you know, y'all take it how you want to, but what kind of held him back for me, he got 3 All NBA second team selections, 6 All Stars, and then he got some Euro basket awards, 4 Euro basket medals, and 1 MVP in Euro basket, which is a big deal in Europe. So I don't want people to. That's why I added it. I don't want people to kind of forget about that. That's a big deal. But 3 All NBA second team selections, it kind of held me back from letting them be higher. Because I'm like, Tony, you was great. I think you was really, really good. And I think you are still top 10, one of the best European players ever, one of the best foreign players ever. But never was the guy, never was the main guy for your team. Now he did win Finals MVP. That is, you know, a series though, not a regular season MVP. But he's still a key piece for the championship team. One of the best players on the team. Probably would you say the second best after Tim Duncan for most of the championships at least. And then 6-time All-Star. That's still solid, man. And then you know, not even talking about his Olympic runs with France, all that good stuff. So yeah, I slid Tony Parker number 10. I'm excited to hear what you might have to say about it, but I like him right there. I think he deserves to be in it, but number 10 is the right spot for him, in my opinion.
Mm. Okay. I don't have him on my top 10, to be honest with you.
What? No Tony Parker?
Yeah. Yeah. It was like I said, man, before we started recording, like I think, like you said, the first 6, I think solidified. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Mm.
After that, it gets like I really think it's a strong 11, 12 to have in the top 10.
Yeah.
And it's really like a drop off after that. Like it's people like, okay, I'll say this. Do you have Mono on your list?
Ginobili?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so somebody like him where it's like, you can ball, you can hoop, but I can't put you over these guys. So like it's 10, 11, 12, drop off, Ginobili, 13.
Mm.
And so Tony was in the running. And this is where I wanted your help with this. For my 10th spot, I still don't have it picked. So it's really right now between
But I don't even have nobody in the slot.
it's between, oddly enough, we were roasting him the first part of this podcast, Rudy Gobert,
Mm-hmm.
and rest in peace, Dikembe Mutombo.
Understandable.
That's who I was juggling between, because at first I was like, Dikembe. Then I was like, well, Rudy does have 4 of them DPOYs. How many? Oh, Dikembe got 3. So it wasn't like just the easy picking. I started looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the stats and awards. They're pretty close and pretty similar. So I'm like, it's not just as easy as I thought it was going to be because Dikembe has the nostalgia for me and he has the legacy of who he is and how much weight he carries as a human being on top of his playing career. So I tried to remove that and think about just the basketball player essence of this and remove the dislike of Gobert that happened with him and look at it as objective as possible. So looking at them side by side, of course, Dikembe has more years and everything. So, but points per game, Dikembe has basically 10. Rudy basically has 13. Rebounds, Gobert has 12. Dikembe has 10. Let's drop down the blocks per game. Mutombo has basically 3. It's 2.8. And Rudy has 2.1. Of course, Dikembe's Hall of Fame. Neither of them have championships. Rudy Gobert has one more All NBA, 4-3. He has 7. Rudy has 7 All Defensive teams to Dikembe 6. Both of them have 4 DPOYs, but Dikembe has 8 All Stars to Rudy's 3. So it's not just this easy sweep of like who's better and who's not. It's really neck and neck as far as how it goes. I took one step deeper and I'm like, okay, let's see to like what the averages were really looking like. And Dikembe played a lot longer than he should have, which hurt his averages on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to do the math and like dig down to what it looked like. I just gave him the benefit of the doubt to be like, oh, he probably would have had the same thing Rudy had. Like I just put it like that. So it's really neck and neck for me, man. And I want to come to a decision on who number 10 is, but I'm stuck between these two. So I love Tony, respect him because he was a Finals MVP and everything he did as far as foreign and everything. But I feel like the reason why I gave these two guys the nod over him because they had a level of dominance on one end of the floor. And Rudy never, I mean, not Rudy, Tony never really had that level of dominance of like, yeah, you're fast and you're coming down and coming down in transition, but we can minimize the fast break, we can limit you. And you got smart in the half court. Well, if we can just limit you getting downhill, we can limit you. And Tony never really developed a jumper like that. So he was able to be contained more and not as dominant versus it's like you're doing the best you can to get the Dikembe out the game. Like it's not even like minimize the defense, like get him out the game if you can. So it's like it's different on that side. So I'm stuck between those two. I think because we were roasting him, it kind of gave me a better idea of who I want to have. So I think I'm going to go to Dikembe number 10.
That's funny.
Oh man,
Nah,
but yeah,
brother.
Dikembe 10.
Dikembe Mutombo number 10. I am not mad at it. But deciding between Dikembe Mutombo and Rudy Gobert, treacherous. I can't lie. Treacherous. Do you know Dikembe Mutombo is second all time in blocks behind Hakeem Olajuwon?
Mm-hmm.
All time second in blocks.
But here's the thing, Rudy's still playing though.
Rudy Gobert is 33rd. I did the numbers. I did the number. Matter of fact, let's look at the exact number. Hold on. Where is he at? I just seen it.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go all time blocks.
Dikembe Mutombo got almost double the amount of blocks Rudy Gobert. Now, I don't know how much longer Rudy plan on playing. And I know the game is different. We don't play through the big man as much, so it's kind of different for him, like blocking shots than Rudy. Rudy got to block a lot more guards and stuff, I would assume. And then, guys more athletic, all that good stuff. I understand all that. But almost double the amount of blocks and second all time. Same amount of DPOYs. All stars and all that similar. No, my fault. Dikembe 8-time All Star. Rudy 3. You just said Rudy was 3, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And yeah, Dikembe got 8 All Stars. So I would say Dikembe's longevity. I get like you said, he played a little longer than he probably should have, but he had value on the defensive end, even in those later years. Now, I get offensively, he probably wasn't, touching the ball and then back to the basket, more stuff like that. Especially in the, close to the end. He playing with Allen Iverson and guys like that. And the game is different. But I'm taking Dikembe 7 days out of the week, twice on Sundays, over Rudy Gobert. Just think and then like if he was playing right now today, I consider him, especially in his prime years, I consider him a good bit more athletic than Rudy and moving his feet a little better and all that good stuff. So I don't think he would be nowhere near as much of a liability as Rudy Gobert is. So give me Dikembe over him, and you're gonna see that a little bit more later on.
Yeah, I'm not saying okay, player for player, Dikembe is better, but I'm trying to consider the fact that Rudy. I'm I'm trying to be objective about this because I agree that Rudy shouldn't have all the DPOIs he has, but I'm trying to work with what he does have. Like, okay, cool, he does have them, so let's put everything on the table that we can. So he has these awards, he has that. So what do we have to look at? That's where it's like, okay, you have to put more respect on Rudy's name. Now, if you could, like you said, rewind and put Dikembe in today's game, I don't think he's getting exposed like Rudy is. And I think that's kind of what solidified it for me as being like, Dikembe is like, for what he was in his time, definitely was great. Like he's still all-time defensive player and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even if you put him in today's game, he's still a level of all-time great. So like Gobert was probably played in the wrong era. If you put him 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you probably put more respect on his name. But you put Dikembe in today's game, he's probably get the same amount of respect, probably even more now. So now I thought about it like that. I'm like, oh, yeah, Gobert. Sit your butt down over here on the bench. Dikembe.
Come on, sit by me on this honorable mention side.
Yeah,
So,
so yeah, Dikembe 10 for me, man. I'm pretty sure you got him 9 now. Now I think about it.
that'd be a good guess. Give me Dikembe Mutombo number 9, man. 4-time All NBA Defensive Player of the Year. We done named all the accolades now. 8-time All Star. Man, I love Dikembe Mutombo, and may he rest in peace. Short story about Dikembe Mutombo. Never met him or anything. I wish that was the story, but I remember I went to a basketball camp at Mississippi State when I was going to be a sophomore. I was young. I was in high school, obviously. I want to say I was about to be a sophomore. Go to a basketball camp at Mississippi State with my brother. My brother was there too. He was about to be a senior. We go to the camp. You know, they split us up in grades and stuff, so I went with my brother the whole time. But you know, we get split up into teams. You know how it's an overnight camp. We was there for like 3 days or three nights, 4 days, whatever. It was an overnight camp. So we stayed on campus, all that good stuff. So, you know, they split us up into teams and we spend our whole week with the teams doing drills and stuff, and then we scrimmage. That's always the last thing. You know how camp is. So I remember that like early on in the camp, I wasn't playing all that good. You know what I mean? I'm getting used to playing with these guys. You know how camp can be. You don't know none of these dudes. You just trying to figure it out. But I remember like day 3 of the camp, I started like kind of picking up on things and figuring it out, learning. You know, I kind of, I don't know, I kind of got comfortable in the environment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So next thing I knew, I had scored a couple times in the paint in a row, and I had blocked a couple shots. Guy on my team, a little point guard, played kind of like Damian Lillard. I always felt like he played like Damian Lillard. This was young Dame, obviously. This has been like 10 years ago now, ain't it? When I was a sophomore in high school. It was like 10 years ago. Goodness, I'm getting old. But Buddy on my team, he was a point guard, kind of play like Dame, like I said. When I had blocked the shot, Buddy yelled out, Mutombo! And then I go on the other end, I had to like shimmy, post hook, and like he just kept doing it. He's like, that boy is Mutombo! He kept saying it. And next thing I knew, I had a good game. Like I said, I'm starting to hoop a little bit. And we won. Next thing I knew, my team started calling me that. Like the guys on my team started calling me Mutombo every time I would block a shot because of that. And I ain't gonna lie, I did not like that. I ain't like it as a sophomore. But a little bit later on in life, I started looking into Dikembe Mutombo and, knowing how good he was and all that good stuff. Of course, I'd heard the name before and seen him before, but I'm like, dang, I started looking into him. I started seeing Denver Nuggets Dikembe Mutombo instead of Philadelphia 76ers AI Dikembe Mutombo. So that's kind of where you need to start at. And I'm like, dang, buddy was good, bro. So I realized then later on, like, yeah, that was a big compliment, honestly. So yeah, I didn't like the name at first, but it grew on me obviously, and I started to appreciate that they saw me in that way, and I was making that kind of impact on the game, especially for somebody second all time in blocks in the NBA. You know what I mean? So yeah, may he rest in peace, man. Very impactful on the culture. The Dikembe finger wag still get thrown out every now and then. So yeah, man, I just want to throw that out there as out of respect for him and how his name still getting carried on in basketball. So number 9 on the list of best foreign players.
All right, so my number 9 is now these two are interchangeable for me, and I'm not like I'll say this too before we get into deeper into the list. I'm not married to the position these people are at. I think it's more of like a range. So I could easily wake up tomorrow and be like, nah, switch 9 to 10. Nah, put 10 and 9 back. And my number 9 is Patrick Ewing.
What was Patrick Ewing born?
Huh?
Where was he born?
Jamaican, bro. What?
He is Jamaican. I forgot about that. I ain't mad at my list still, but I forgot Patrick Ewing was Jamaican.
But he got the whole accent and everything.
How many times you done heard Patrick Ewing talk? You know what I mean?
But you remember that clip of him coaching?
Yeah. Is that your shot?
Is that your shot? You practice that shot?
He sound like a coach to me. I ain't even hear the Jamaican in his voice. It sound like a coach to me. But
yeah, Patrick Ewing number 9 for me, man. That man carried New York on his back for years. So
for sure.
Everything that man did for his career, Hall of Fame, 7-time All NBA, 11-time All Star, 1 Rookie of the Year, 3 All Defensive Teams. New York legend, man. Like he was the reason why I gave him the nod over Mutombo because he was a bucket too.
Mm-hmm.
Like he could do damage on the other end of the floor. In spite of like this is a funny thing about a lot of players, they play a little bit longer than they should have, and that hurts their overall averages and stuff. But he was still doing damage. Like he still ended his career with 21 points a game as an average. Probably would have been closer to 25, like maybe 23-ish if he didn't had him a couple years in Seattle to kind of drag him down and everything. But overall, man, Patrick Ewing, shout out to him, Knicks legend. Yeah, that's all I got to say about him, man. But shout out to Patrick, man. That's my number 9 for all time. International, non-US, playing foreign people. I got to figure out how we can like concisely say that because that's a lot to say. Yeah, foreign.
Non-American.
But then, because like we talked about this before. But anyway, let's move on.
Illegal alien basketball. No, all right, moving on.
Number 8.
Start getting down to the real stars of the stars. I feel like now. Number 8, I got Mr. Pau Gasol. Pau, I feel like one of them guys. Remember when we did the GOATS arc? I threw him in that. Dang, what did I call that tier on my tier list? It was like it was like great role players or something like that. So it was like Hall of Fame role players. Some of that, of that nature. And Pau Gasol is in there. Great Hall of Fame player. He was a great key piece, obviously, in those Lakers teams. 2 NBA titles, 4 All NBA selections, 6 All Stars, and 3 Olympic not gold, 3 Olympic medals, but beat America in the Olympics before. And that ain't nothing to sneeze at. You know what I mean? As we know, we just coming off an Olympic summer. That man he can say that. I didn't beat the USA. And everybody can't say that. Feel me?
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 Olympic medals, 1 World Cup gold medal, and 7 Eurobasket medals, and 1 World Cup MVP. So quite literally, one of the best players of the world stage. When it comes to playing on that side of the world, Pau Gasol is one of the best players ever. Now, I get he came here, and don't get me wrong, Pau Gasol was a top 5 power forward in his time, playing in his prime. You know, you had Timmy, you had KG, you had Dirk. Right after them, you had your Pau Gasols, Amari Stoudemire, whoever you want to throw in next, you know what I mean? But, we know who the big 3 was of power forwards, and that them 2000s was KG, Dirk, and Tim. But Pau was right there after that. So, and hence how you got 4 All-NBA selections. So, we know who was first and second most of the time. But Pau deserved to be in this list. 2 titles right next to Kobe. Could probably say he was the second best player on those teams. Could probably comfortably say that. Was 6-time All-Star. So, yeah, man, Pau deserved to be in here. I gave him the nod over Dikembe because I would say Dikembe don't have the offensive prowess that Pau had. Like, I get Mutombo had some years he was the best player on his team, but I'd say what Pau could do offensively, plus what he did on the world stage, the international stage. Obviously, Mutombo being from Africa, there ain't too many African teams competing like that in basketball, so it's a little different. But you can't not what Pau was able to do with Spain in those years on the international stage. So I give him the nod for those main reasons. Give me Pau Gasol number 8.
I agree.
Yes, sir. I knew we was gonna have one. I was like, yes, sir.
I feel like this is the part where we're gonna start agreeing a lot more. So, like I said, man, it's like 9 and 10 we're gonna be kind of iffy. I feel like 8 and on, we're gonna agree. Like this is where I'm not finna fight on you who goes where.
Yeah.
Like for me, 7, 8 are interchangeable, and then 6 through 3 are interchangeable, and then 1 and 2 are interchangeable for me right now. So I agree with you, man. Pal's 8. I think basically what you said is the same thing where I placed him over. For me, it's Patrick, but for him, man, he was such a smart player, man. Like for him to be the second best player to Kobe during those years and doing what he did, he was one of them players too where it's like, bro, you hang on a little bit longer than you should have. Like for him, I was looking at stats and he had a sharp drop off. I forgot what happened. I think he had an injury. And then after that, he just went downhill. Like everything basically cut in half for him. So like his last 4 or 5 years, he was just kind of like, yeah, I'm good with on the bench, guys. Like I don't want to keep being around you guys and being around basketball and stuff. That's what it felt like at least. Is
hanging out
because he was with the Spurs for a couple years and he was with the Bucks. And I think his last year where he kind of did stuff, he was with the Bulls, then with Spurs, and I think he finished out with the Bucks. So he's like, yeah, I'm here, bro. Like y'all need me to play. I got you for a couple of games here and there, a couple minutes here and there. I'm gonna start here and there when you need me, but don't look at me to be like old pal, cause that's done. You want to Gasol can hoop? Go call my brother. Like I ain't hooping like that no more. But I can give you spots here and there. But yeah, pal, man, that's number 8. So I ain't finna beat a dead horse, bro. You already covered it. So
the man.
Number 7, man. What's up with him?
Number 7, we got our first current still playing NBA player on the list. And I don't know. I feel like some people might be surprised that he right here. But number 7 for me gotta be Joel Embiid. Cause Joel, I love Joel game, man. I'm a fan of Joel Embiid's game. I wish he would not flop as much because I feel like he try to sell foul so bad sometimes. But he get a lot of free throws either way because he's so big, so dominant. But I love his offensive game and what he can do. He's pretty much as close to unstoppable as anybody in the league. So give me Embiid number 7. Got already an MVP. last year in 2023, or I guess the year before last, you would say now. And then 7-time All NBA already. Has already got an All NBA first team, 4 All NBA second teams, and then 3 All NBA defensive teams. So I think he's good right here in this spot because this is the first player on the list who has an MVP, obviously. This is the first player on the list with a couple of first teams, I think. So, my fault, he only got 1 first team. But 7-time All NBA. I'm not exactly sure how many years he's been in the league. Has he only been in the league like 9
8.
years? 8?
This will be his ninth year.
Yeah.
But he's been in it.
Yeah, so been in the league 8 years. He got 4 All NBA. So half the time he been in the league, he been an All NBA player. So I think he's good right here at number 7. If he could have remained healthy a couple more of these years, I think he would have been looking a little bit better. Maybe he would have had a finals appearance by now. Who knows if he could have remained healthy. Not saying they would have won or lost, just could have been at least appeared in it. And that makes you look a lot better. When you at least got your team there, you the best player, you appear in the finals, even if you lose, that speaks for something. So, yeah, give me him firmly at number 7. Obviously, he got room to improve. Only been in the league 8 years. Who knows where he'll finish off in this list. But I'm comfortable right now putting him at number 7.
Interesting. So I got him a little bit higher on my list. That's interesting.
And I ain't mad at that.
Hey, listen, I'm not finna fight you on where people I put at this point. Like, this is what I'm not finna push back on too much. So, for me, I gotta go to a brother up north, man. The best Canadian hooper we've seen, Anthony Bennett. He is.
Brother.
Nah, I'm just playing, man. Tristan Thompson. So Tristan, he
I was like, hold on, bro. You can't. Ain't no way we being serious now. Almost had been, but
he's a champion. You know, I'm just playing. But nah, for real, Steve Nash. Like, come on, bro. Like, yeah. So yeah, our Canadian brother up north. For me, man, I was really toggling between him and Powell on 7 and 8, and for a minute I had Powell first. I mean, not first, but above Nash. And I thought because I thought he had a better. Nash had higher highs, but I thought Powell had more longevity of how great he was for how long, because he was still relevant and more of an all-star at certain points. Then I actually dove in. Like, this is just off of thoughts and feelings at first. And I dove into the numbers, and I'm like, y'all not that far apart. So both of them play 18 years. Of course, Powell's a 2-time champ. Nash has none. So Powell had 6. He had 4 All NBA team selections, and Nash had 7 of them. And I was like, But then I thought about how, like you mentioned before, he played behind the big 3 in the power forward position. So that knocked him off a couple of them lists.
Yeah.
Where, like, he probably should have been on 4 more.
If one of them guys don't exist,
exactly,
he's sliding right there.
You juggling between KG, Dirk, and Timmy. You're the 4th best power forward, probably out of them 4. Like, we have to have another conversation about that of ranking those guys. But of that era, you're the 4th best guy. You're falling short. I think power forwards in that era. We're gonna look at power forwards in that era the way we look at players and teams in the '90s going against Jordan. It's like, brother, I'm sorry, we can't put you too high because you got knocked out by Jordan. We respect what you did, but we gotta respect what you didn't do at the same time too. Like, Jordan has the ring, so we have to bump him a little bit higher, and you don't have him. So we're not gonna say Charles Barkley, you suck because you don't have him, but you don't have him. So I can't put you that much higher. So I think for the same thing for Powell, like, man, we love you, C Webb, my dog, but the big 3 still going as the big 3. So I give Powell like a slight asterisk on that because 4 All NBAs feel weird for him, especially in 18 years. But then you think about, like I said, he was behind the big 3, so it's like, all right, I'll give you a little grace in that area. But he ran Rookie of the Year, so he obviously had something to say about him. To dig into his numbers, he had 20,000 points in his career. So it's like, all right, bro, you a bucket. Like, you can do damage. As a big, got 11,000 rebounds. All right, so you're doing what a big should do.
Right.
And it's like, man, he should be higher when you think about what he has. And once again, you played against the big three of that era. So it was a talk between him and Nash about who goes 7 and 8. But I think I gave Nash the nod because he had higher highs and like the all NBAs. Like that was no slouch of air for point guards either. It wasn't like just a gimme at that time too. So I think Nash is a step higher for me over Powell because he had the two MVPs. Even if you can fight about who should have had the other one, I don't care. He has them, so work with what you actually have. So Nash gets a slight nod over me over Powell, but once again, I'm not finna fight too hard. And it's probably finna the most easygoing debate I'm gonna have because it's really just like a grab the dice, shake them out, roll them. All right, cool. That's where it lands. So.
Nah, facts. You right though. It kind of is like a how you feel that day type of thing. But I am glad you went ahead and got all that out the way because I do got Steve Nash number 6. So like we said it, man. It's gonna be close everywhere from this point on. It's probably gonna be 1-2 spots difference for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, give me Steve number 6, man. You already said it all, man. Don't need to be repeated. I think Steve, near the end of his career with his back troubles and all that good stuff, man. I really wish him and Dwight Howard could have remained healthy on that Lakers team. And I know, they had their issues and Dwight and Kobe didn't really get along, all that good stuff. I remember them days, but I feel like if Steve Nash could have really been solid a couple more years, they could have made some noise. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, Steve Nash still one of the best three-point shooters we've seen, still one of the best passers we've seen, playing next to Kobe. Even without Dwight, them two right there still was going to be something to deal with. You know what I mean? So, I wish I could have seen that. But, Steve won a lot of people top 5 point guards. If not top 5, firmly in the 7, 8, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I that's kind of why I slid him above Joel Embiid because I think all time, as of right now, I still like Steve Nash over Joel Embiid with everything they both accomplished up to this point. Of course, Joel has time to improve his resume, but like I said, Steve Nash probably top 7, 8 point guards ever. I don't know if we saying that about Joel Embiid at center. Those centers, it gets spooky in there. You know what I mean? When you talking about the best centers of all time, that's probably the worst. That's probably one of the hardest top 5s to crack. When you talking about positions, that's probably the hardest top 5. And that's another debate we can have another day. But man, when you get to looking at centers, like the top 10 all time NBA players, 5 of them probably centers for most people. So that is probably easily the hardest top 5 positions to crack. But Steve Nash is in some people's top 5 point guards and everybody's top 7, 8. Right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, man, like I said, you threw out all the accolades. I think I'm good with him being at number 6, just outside the top 5, but just above all the players who were not number 1 options, but also don't have rings. I think he good right there. So give me Steve Nash number 6.
Yeah, so we basically switched 6 and 7 because I got Embiid number 6.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, so I think what gave me the nod for him over Nash was the fact that he's a better defender, and I think Embiid. I think about this with Kawhi, where Embiid came in a great defender, then he added the offensive back later on, and of course, when players are like that, 9 times out of 10, defense takes a back seat so you can still score your 30-plus points. And I believe we might have only had 1 year where Embiid's offense and defense were both like just dominant. And then after that, defense took a backseat a little bit more and offense started to get better. And his offense has grown stupid like the past 4 years probably. Like it's just been ridiculous what he's been able to do. Like he's almost. I forgot who said it, but they're like, Embiid would come in the game and say, "You know what? I'm gonna go dream today." And he'd go out there, all the footwork and everything be dream. Next game, I think it's Tyrese Maxey. He said, "Man, I'm coming in, I'm gonna be Shaq today," and he just dominates the down low, just low post game, boom, 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 banging, turn, drop hook him, drop step, dunking, elbows, all that stuff. Next game, be Katie, get the ball high post, elbow, he just pulling up from three, and it's like he actually does and drops 30 doing all three spots, and I'm like, that's a bad man right there, man. Joel Embiid, that
Crazy.
boy, saucy, like that's crazy. So I think for him and that's the thing with him and Kawhi, like defense started taking a back seat, and we never fully seen that level of defense again. Kawhi is a great defender, don't get me wrong, like all time great defenders, all that stuff. But we hit a point where his defense started to take a back seat a little bit, and we don't see the same dominance on the defensive end that we saw for a while. Part of it for both of them is the injuries and everything, and part of it is the offense started to take a front seat and driving the game a little bit more. So we never fully seen them have both ends of the floor be as dominant for a duration. And that's where I'm not mad about it but I think we kind of gloss over and glorify their both ends of the floor a little too much for me sometimes. To where like, bro, Kawhi's not the same defender he used to be. Some of his injuries and everything, but he doesn't give the same output he did at some point in his career. Offense is still doing his thing. Same thing for Joel. Like defensive end, does he have a DPOY? Let me double check.
Joel Embiid?
No, he has 3 out defense.
No.
Yeah, he has 3 defensive teams.
Losing on the Rudy.
Another conversation for another day.
Yeah.
But
losing on Jones to Rudy, man.
But yeah, so it was really tough for me to say he's that much better than Nash. But it's like once again, we're just kind of flip flopping spots now. So, but yeah, I got Joel right here, man, and I think after this, like the higher we get, the less I'm going to be like definitive in caring about who's here. So, I think the top 5 are the top 5. It's a slight gap between 5 and 6 at this point moving forward. So I think the top 5 are the top 5. I don't think there's any moving of this. Like somebody had to do something stupid for the top 5 to be moved.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, it would have to. It's tough to crack that top 5. Like we already named everybody, and Joel Embiid is the first person that's still playing. And Rudy Gobert, I'm sorry, Rudy Gobert still playing. But sure, he been in the league 10+ years now. I feel like so he would have to have some crazy couple years. But Joel Embiid got the best chance, obviously, because I got him at 7, you got him at 6. He just on the outside, but that top 5 is tough. We got a couple all timers in that top 5.
This is what I'm saying, bro. Like the top 5 gap is nasty. Like that, like because the fact that we, like you said, Joel's the first person that we named that's still playing, and the other 3 are still playing. I have 3 other people that are still playing in my top 5.
Okay.
And so the fact that it's still playing means that gap's going to get even wider, and more wide, and wider. So, and I don't see Joel doing too much to, like he'll have to get a ring, honestly. And
a ring would definitely probably boost him over Steve into the 6th spot. But I only think one ring put him in the top 5. He got to get another MVP maybe and a ring or something, and he got to be finals MVP.
Like, yeah, so I think for him to crack the top 5, a ring, because who I have at 5, he could possibly get number 5, but 5 been in the league a couple years less than him, so he has potential. But I think the thing that makes me feel comfortable about Embiid not being in the top 5 is health.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't see him being too much. If he was able to be healthier, there's another conversation we could have to where moving forward, I can see him cracking it. But with him going to be playing 60 games, 50, 60 games in the season, and the other guys be playing more, I don't see him putting up enough stats and getting enough awards to really overcome that. Like you said, unless he has one more good season in him, would say he can pull an MVP out his butt or get a finals run and become finals MVP and all that stuff. Like that's the only way I see him touching the top 5. But the top 5 gaps about to get nasty. So who you got number 5, man? Progress is not about perfection and being perfect. It's about making growth no matter what. It's about pushing yourself to the limit and beyond those limits. Every challenge that comes your way, you're overcoming them. And it's about striving to become more and doing more. Every single step, every single day, every single dribble is a victory. You've won as long as you're making progress. Because progress is the only goal. So invest into that progress, invest into that dream. Get yourself a reminder that progress is the only goal.
Number 5, some of y'all gonna hate me, and I know why, but number 5, I gotta go Dirk Nowitzki. I know some people ain't gonna like it. Some people ain't gonna like it. Give me Dirk number 5, man. I love Dirk, don't get me wrong. He's still in my top 5, so don't act like I just got him number 10. But Dirk in my top 5. Got the championship, one of, if not the most respected NBA championships of all time. Went through Kobe in the Lakers. Went through KD and Russell Westbrook in the Thunder. Beat the Miami Heat Big Three in the finals in 5 games. Won finals MVP. Has a regular season MVP. 12 All-NBA selections, 14 All-Stars. And I want to say number 6 all-time scorer. Has 30,000 points. Number 6 all-time in scoring. One of the greats, man. One of the greats. Like we mentioned many times, that big three at power forward between him, Timmy, and KG. You know what I mean? So they had an era of basketball. They were very dominant.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I gotta go with him at number 5. I'm gonna get into the rest of the list, obviously. But man, I love Dirk. Dirk's game. The fadeaway is very iconic. I would say he is the Mavericks face. Like, when you think Dallas Mavericks, like, you think Dirk. Their best all-time player as of right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Dirk is, like, I think 5. I'm comfortable with him being at 5. He could be higher, obviously. But for right now, with the guys I got ahead of him, I'm comfortable with this.
Yeah, this is where it's tough for me, man. I got the other Maverick at number 5.
I figured you would.
Yeah, so I think some people gonna get mad about it, but whatever. The reason he's the lowest for me, and this is not a knock against him, but he's the youngest. Like he's only played 6 years, so he hasn't had the opportunity to do as much as the other guys. So I'm putting him there. So I can't put him right now over the rest of the guys are MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the guys, let me double check my list. The rest of the guys have rings. They've done damage to where out of the top 5, he's the one with the least. Now, he is the only one with the conference final MVP. He can say that. He has bragging rights with that, you know.
However much that means.
You know, it's like, bro, we didn't have it. So, all right, cool, I got it. So,
sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. You got Finals MVP. I got Western Conference MVP. Yeah, but yeah, that's why he's 5, man. It's not because it's just like a big gap between that. It's just he hasn't had the opportunity to do as much. Now, ask me in 3 years and 5 years. Hey, he probably take somebody's spot. Dirk, I'm looking at you a little differently, brother. Like, hey.
Love you, Dirk.
Reel you back in, brother. I can't have you where I got you right now. So right now I got Luka there, man. But I love Luka, bro. Like he just a monster, man. So with this being year 7 for him, like in the season this year being 7, like, and it's one thing I started to weigh out too. Like, I want to look at the efficiency of their career. So Luka he played 6 years and he has 5 all NBAs. So that means basically once he got a feel for the league, killing. Like, I'm one of the best players out here. And that says a lot. So for him, this is where I started to look at the diceness of that. Like, how efficient are you with your greatness too? So usually by year 3, guys start to figure it out and you start to like, okay, I got a feel for it. I got over the first year. I kind of found my footing of what role I'm going to be in. By year 3, this is where the judgment started comes in. And like, all right, what tier are we putting? Are you a superstar? Are you an all-star? Are you a role player just kind of doing your thing? Luka said, "Nah, bro, I need this 1 year. Name me king. Like I'm taking over." So he won Rookie of the Year, and after that, it was like boom, take off. Like it's crazy what he's doing. So I got Luka number 5, man. It's not just like the easy, just like number 5. It's like it's like top 5's cut off and like rearrange the list for me. So,
Thanks.
but I got Luka number 5 right now, man. So like I said, ask me in 2, 3, 5 years, might be number 3. I don't know if he'll crack my top 2, but for right now, I got number 5.
Well, brother, if you ask me right now, give me Luka number 5. I want $1. Nah, but Luka number 4 for me. And this is why. You already went through the accolades. 6 years in the league, first year in the league, NBA Rookie of the Year. The other 5 years, all NBA first team. How many guys we seen do that? First team, all 5 of his years after his rookie season.
Mm-hmm.
Was the NBA scoring champ last year. Mm-hmm. Just got to the finals for the first time. Just got his little first taste of the finals. Got his little, foot in the door. He know what it takes to get there, all that good stuff. They just added Klay Thompson. I think they got a good chance to make it back. I mean, we ain't got to get into all that, though. But I'm willing to bet he going to get him one before the century is up or the decade is up, I mean. But another thing we underestimate about Luka, or not underestimate, overlook about Luka, 2019, my fault. Wait, I got my stuff mixed up in here. He was a EuroLeague champion before he even came into the NBA. EuroLeague champion as a teenager. And EuroLeague is the second best league in the world.
Yep.
As a teenager, his team won the championship.
I think he was 16. He was 16 or 17.
Something like that, yes. While we was
stupid.
At the age we was taking Algebra 2 and stuff like that, this man was playing in the EuroLeague, dog, and won a championship. I put a lot of respect on that, man. But give me Luka just above Dirk. And I also put him above Dirk because Dirk and Mark Cuban both claim that he is already better. Skills-wise, he's already better than Dirk. Like, everything he could do with the ball, Dirk could never do everything Luka can do now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And, of course, they different positions, different eras. But, man, I think that's just the God-honest truth. Like, Luka can do so much more with the ball in his hand. And Dirk still got 30,000 points, all that good stuff. It's going to be hard for him to pass that. He got to play for a long time and all that good stuff. But he already got more All-NBA first teams, I think. I think Dirk might have like 7. But like also, he played, we mentioned it many times in his era, the Big Three, all that good stuff. But right now, give me Luka, man. With the trajectory he going, like you said, you ask me 3 years, 5 years from now, you can ask me right now. I'm going to go ahead and take him. I'm buying Luka Doncic stock. Not for what it's doing right now, but what I believe it will do in the future. Give me Luka Doncic. So that's my number 4 right there.
I ain't mad at it, man. I ain't mad at it. So I feel like I got Giannis 4.
Okay.
Yeah, Giannis is 4 for me, man. I think that the reason I gave him the 9 over Luka is, of course, the longevity, which is what it is. But I think also the dominance. It's like Giannis is great offensively, but he's almost dominant on defense too. Almost. I wouldn't say he's completely dominant on defensive end, but he's like right there. He's great. He can take over a game defensively, whether it's outside with the steals and inside with the blocks. He can play a really solid role defensively. And I think it's really like which flavor do you want? Do you want to have the wizard on offense who can give you what you want, or would you rather have a great two-way player that can give you what you want on both ends of the floor. Like, do you want to have the two-way guy that can give you 30 points and 10 rebounds? What's he averaging for assists? Averaging basically 5 assists. So 30, 10, and 5 in one game. Would you rather have a 50 ball, 8 and 6? It's like, which one do you want to have? He's not going to give you a whole lot of defense, but he's going to make up for it by giving you 20 extra points. And it's going to be efficient. And he's going to clean you up on the other end as far as dimes and playmaking. Versus the other guy who can give you really great defense. He gave you a Finals MVP. He's 2-time MVP. Won a DPOI. 5 all defensive teams. 8 all NBA teams. Like, it's really about which flavor, like which one do you care to have more? Some people are like, yeah, give me Luka. I'll figure out the defensive end. Man, give me Giannis. I'll figure out shooters around him. It's really about what you want at that point. So this is where, once again, 3-5 years. Luka, slide you up a little bit. Giannis, come here, son. Like, just one step down. So yeah, it's not like a big fight for me at this point. Like, other lists, it's like, bro, you sound crazy. Bump him there, take him there. But this way, I'm like, it's very fluid for me, man. Like, one day I'm gonna wake up and be like, man, Luka's number 3. Nah, man, Giannis is 3. So at today, as I stand, the day of this recording, when it actually comes out, I might, man, I was tripping, bro. Let me put Luka 3 and put Giannis 3. But for right now, Luka's 5, and Giannis is 4.
I ain't mad at that, brother. Me personally, I'm gonna go Giannis number 3. I like how you just chasing me up the list. Give me Giannis number 3, dog. And for a lot of the reasons you just said, I value that defensive end a little bit too much to not take him over Luka. Giannis and Luka. Giannis been in the league a little bit longer than Luka. Giannis is going into year 9, I want to say.
No, he's going into year 12.
Dang, oh my God, I'm behind. Year 12. I'm good with that though. Year 12 for Giannis. Luka only going into year 7. Mm-hmm. So he 5 years ahead of him. But they got the same amount of All-NBA first teams. Giannis got 2 MVPs though, and a DPOI. One of 3 players to ever win MVP and DPOI in the same season. And 4 all defensive first teams. So now you're talking about 5 All-NBA first teams, 4 All-NBA first defensive teams. So clearly and easily one of the best two-way players in the league. He giving you 30. He giving you 2 blocks. He giving you a couple steals. He giving you great help side defense. He guarding 1 through 5. He can guard a big. He can guard a guard. He can switch on the pick and rolls. You don't want them long arms, big shoulders guarding you. You know what I mean? I just seen him get cooked a couple times before people started, like, but what about when this happens? Like, you know how that go. But easily one of the best two-way players in the league right now. Might be, honestly, could probably say the best two-way player, but that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, already got the championship. That's another nod over Luka, unfortunately for him. And he was Finals MVP. But I already got 2 MVPs and the DPOY. Luka is yet to win MVP. I know some people feel like he should have won this year. I would not have been mad if he won this year, obviously. But the resume just looking a little bit better right now to me. And I'm taking that elite defensive side of the ball along with dang near unguardable on offense. Because Luka is unguardable, but he going to get everybody else involved too a little bit. Giannis just unguardable. He ain't getting too many other people involved. That ain't his forte. But yeah, man, give me Giannis at number 3, man. I got plenty of Giannis stock already. You know I am. That's my guy. I believe he gonna still. It's more to come for him. He was unhealthy. I mean, he was injured. Going into the playoffs this past season. I believe him and Dame gonna kind of figure it out this year with a full training camp together and everything gelling. They got the same team coming back. So I got a lot of high hopes for Milwaukee this coming up season, man. So Give me Giannis number 3. That ain't have nothing to do with me having a number 3, but I'm just saying that I believe he gonna still have great things coming down the line. So give me Giannis number 3.
All right. So my number 3 is Dirk.
Mm.
And I'm not going to go too long on this one because we already talked about him. But the reason why I gave him the nod over the other two is because how much he did with what he didn't have.
Right.
So the fact that he won that ring, and like you talked, he beat the Kobe, the OKC team. I think he beat the Spurs that year as well, I believe. I can't remember exactly.
Mm.
And then beat the Heat in them. With no other All-Star on his team for that year. And for him to carry all those Mavs teams for all those years, and for most of that time, his second best player was Nash when he was there. For the little spurts, he was there. And after that, on that championship team, his second best player might have been Tyson Chandler, maybe Jet, maybe Kid. Like it's a big group of players. It's Dirk, the rest of y'all. So for him to do what he did in that finals run, I want to say by himself that's disrespectful to everybody else, but for what he did, the longevity of 21 years, still averaged, basically 21 points. And then this is the funny thing when I was doing this. You don't think about Dirk being a defensive player. Like nobody says Dirk in defense. It's like, oh, that makes sense. It's not like Tim Duncan defense, KG defense, Dirk
Fade away.
buckets. Like that's what it comes to.
Buckets.
But he has, I say about 1,300 blocks. I'll round them up for him. So he has about 1,300 blocks, which is first in the franchise. And I was like, that's interesting. That's the interesting thing to thought because you don't think about Dirks and blocks. You usually think about him outside perimeter. Like, all right, cool.
Mm.
It's like, okay. I think a lot of it has to do with his longevity there. I'm not trying to pull him down, but it's like that's interesting. I want to throw out there. So like, give kudos to Dirk for that. But yeah, I think the reason why I take him over the other two and put him third for me because he carried that team. Like he really, hey man, put y'all on my back. And he took that hike up that mountain. Kobe, give you this 1-2 piece. KD, give you this 1-2 piece. I think it was Timmy, 1-2 piece. Get you up out of here. All right, Bron, D-Wade, Bosh. All right. It's y'all first year, so if I don't get y'all now, I think I'm gonna get y'all again. Give me my ring, buddy. What's up now? Yeah. Take this German 1-2 piece with you, man. Go back to South Beach, man. So yeah. That's really what I saw that gave me that nod over the other two because he carried that franchise and those teams with so much less help than most players had. Like he's one of them outliers when it comes to the champions. Like we always mention how the Pistons team that snuck in there and won that ring, and the Mavericks team we talking about won that ring, and how that Raptors team snuck in and won that ring. Like they shouldn't have won. Like it should have been the Heat. It should have been the Lakers. It should have been the Spurs. Like it should have been. It'd been business as usual. They said, nah. Dirk said, put my name on this list too. So that's why I really have him third. Like if it wasn't for him doing as much with as little as he had, I probably have him fifth like you do. But because he carried so much with so little, I put a little bit more respect on that. Even though, like I do respect the defensive end too. So I would have pulled him down because of that. But because he carried that team with so little, I'm like, all right, bro. In spite of all of your deficiencies that you have, not being a great defender like that, and not having as much as you have, you still figure out a way to get it done. I want to give him credit for that. So that's why I got him third.
I ain't mad at it, man. Dirk is all time great. You don't score 30,000 plus points by look. You know what I mean? Got him an MVP, all that good stuff. We've been through it. I will rebuttal your point about his carrying because, the times he had Steve Nash, that was a finals worthy team. He also went, Dirk went to the finals in 2006 and lost to Miami that year with D-Wade and Shaq, But I feel like, that's, you made it to the finals with who you had. You got a solid squad, all that good stuff. But I ain't mad that they lost. I ain't trying to blame Dirk. But then, you fast forward 2011, that finals run was great. I don't like when we start to act like his team was some slouches. I feel like he
Mhm.
had a team full of guys on their last hurrah, if you understand what I'm trying to say. You had him, Jay Kidd, Jason Terry, Sean Marion, Tyson Chandler. Now, I know Jason Terry was in the Celtics the next year because he got dunked on by Bron. That's dang near the only reason I remember. So other than Jason Terry and Dirk Nowitzki, can you tell? I mean, Dirk finished his career as a Maverick. Can you tell me where any of them other players played at after Dallas?
Are you asking me right
Yeah,
now?
I'm asking you. Sean Marion, Tyson Chandler, who else did I say? Jason Kidd. Did they play anywhere else after Dallas?
I know Sean played with the Cavs for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Raptors, maybe. Yeah. I'm the wrong person to ask, but my brain just like
Hey,
went
man,
blank
yeah,
right now.
yeah. I mean, that's a random question to ask somebody. Where did Tyson Chandler
Yeah,
go after you left?
I know he played with the Knicks.
That was before. No, that was after. That was
Oh,
after.
I would say he was with that Melo
Yeah,
squad,
that was
so
after. I'm sure.
it had to be after that. And then the Rockets, and I think he had one more stop. Who else you said?
J Kidd.
Jay Kidd. Then he finished with the Mavs? No, he played with the Knicks too. I'm lying. He played the Knicks with that team for a couple years, and that might have been it for him. He might have had one more stop, but I can't think of it right now before he went to coaching. And then Jet, he played with the Celtics, the Nets, and the Bucks for a second. He might have had one more stop and then he was done. But it was all downhill
For
for
all
basically
of
everybody except Tyson.
them.
Except Tyson. Tyson, the only
Tyson
one
stood
who,
up for a little bit longer.
yeah, I think he won DPOY with that Knicks team, I believe.
I don't think so. I think he was like second or something. I don't think he won one. And then, I don't think he got a DPOY. I know he was all defensive team though. But
I think he had a year where, like he said, second where we thought he should have had a
no,
chance. But
yeah.
anyway,
I'm with that for sure. But I don't think he won. But I say that to say, I feel like he had a group that was like, I don't know, I ain't gonna act like I was in the locker room, but I feel like he had a group that was like, hey, this is it. Like, if we don't win it now, J Kidd, Dirk, Jason Terry, Sean Marion, Tyson Chandler, that team good. And like,
mm-hmm.
I know they knew in the back of their head, the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. We got a squad right now. But the clock ticking for everybody. This 2011, I want to say Dirk played like 5 more years, I want to say, right? When did Dirk retire? I know you had it in front of you.
18, 19 was his last year.
18, 19. So he played like 8 more years.
Mm-hmm.
They had Caron Butler on that team, Corey Brewer. That team was solid, dog.
JJ Barea.
JJ Barea. Brendan Haywood came off the bench.
Oh yeah, B Wood, yeah.
Steve Novak. Shout out Steve Novak.
Mm.
Sasha Pavlovich and Pedro Stojakovic was all on that team.
Oh, yeah, Page had a nice little run with that squad.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
remember that.
saying. He had a squad full of guys that was like, hey, we got it. We got it. You got old heads in here, vets that know what they got. I know. I know. They looked at each other like, we got something. We all know how to play. We all smart. We all know what it takes to win. And the clock is ticking. I mean, there ain't no better way to put it, but the clock is ticking. And I think that means something. You know what I mean? Ain't none of us got too much longer. And I ain't trying to diminish what Dirk did. I just feel like that team, we had like that team with Dirk carrying everybody. Dirk was obviously the best player, don't get me wrong. He was great. He was amazing. But them guys knew. J Kidd know his role. Tyson know his role. Sean Marion know his role. Jason Terry know his role. These the guys, man. They gonna do what you need them to do to win. Because they all know what it takes. They old enough. They just now, all of them know just enough to get it done. So I just feel like that team is better than a lot of people give it credit for. That's all I'm trying to say. And
yeah, I'm not trying to. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just saying like that's part of the reason why even though with that title, I still have him number 5. I ain't trying. It ain't like Giannis's title was like the hardest title ever. I'm just saying like we diminish the other guys on that team a lot of times. I feel like Dirk did a great job playing. They all played around him, but they solid. They solid players.
Yeah, so it's not trying to make it seem like they was playing with scrubs. Like we know the Mavs teammates he
Yeah,
had,
for sure.
but if we're going to sit here and look at the rosters of that team compared with let's go for the finals run. Let's keep it like that because all three had a finals run,
Right.
at least one. So you look at Dirk's two teams on the finals. You look at Giannis's team he had in the finals, and you look at Luka's team he had in the finals last year.
Mm-hmm.
Luka's right hand man was Kyrie, obviously. You could debate between Drew and Chris Middleton and between who was Giannis's, right hand guy.
Right.
We're taking Kyrie, like take of course the three we're talking about off the list. Kyrie's first name off the board. Like that's no ifs, ands, or buts. Then you can debate between Tyson, Drew, and Chris Middleton of who's going next.
Not J Kidd. I don't think we taking J Kidd. I know he was getting older though.
I'll say at that point, maybe. I don't think I would. I think I might take Tyson over J Kidd at that point of that year. Maybe. I have to go back and look at the numbers and remember what era J Kidd we looking at.
J Kidd only played 2 more years, so he definitely was older.
Yeah, I knew he was on his last leg. I'm
looking at it.
Rewind maybe 5 years before. Yeah, but
ooh, J Kidd. I ain't gonna lie. I'm looking at the numbers. J Kidd was playing his role. Let's say that. That boy averaged 8 points, 8 assists.
Yeah. So Tyson,
but he played 80 games. So that boy, he was like, "Hey, look, I'm out here to get y'all the ball."
He said, "Dirk, I am feeding you. I'm feeding you, and I'm feeding you, bro. I'm out of my 8 assists. I need you to get 6 of them and 6 of them boys. So you finna go to work. I'm gonna kick out to Jet out there. Tyson, me, you hit the pick and roll. But look, Dirk, I know my role. I know who's who. Do what you gotta do, buddy. I'm gonna get mine where I get mine. But see, if we're looking at that team, it's Kyrie's going off first. You're probably looking at Tyson next. Depending on how much stock you look in Chris Middleton versus Drew, one of those two are coming off the board. It's probably like the top 1, 2, 3. That's the top 4. And Kidd might be 5th. And that's a strong if. Nah, I can't put J Kidd up that high, man. I love J Kidd, but I can't do averaging 8 and 8. I'm like, sorry, buddy.
But 8 assists ain't nothing to sneeze at. It ain't like he was a big averaging 8 points, 8 rebounds. 8 points, 8 assists is solid.
Listen, he's probably 3 spots lower because the 8 assists, like you said, that's tough. Like you gotta do something prime right now. I ain't giving you 8 assists.
Yeah,
so I'm not trying to sit here and like diminish the 8 assists, but it's the 8 points to where I'm looking at. Man, I can have Drew lock me up and lock somebody up for me and counteract what you give me in the 8 assists. You know what I mean? So
I feel it.
That's why I'm looking at it like that. So, but anyway, I just feel like Dirk carried a team where he had his A-level player, and the fact that Giannis had 2 very high-level B players, and then Luka basically had another A player, bro. You had like an A- player on your team. So that's why I'm looking at he carried more with less. I'm not trying to say he played with scrubs, like he just played with nobody, because you don't get to the finals with nobody on your team. That's just impossible. So you're going to have to be a GOAT of, if you did that, bro, you're the GOAT. I don't care what nobody says, bro. If you carried a bunch of scrubs, like for real, and you won, you the GOAT. Forget Jordan, forget Bron, forget Kobe, Kareem. I don't care no more, bro. You're the GOAT. So until somebody does that, it's another conversation. But that's why I'm putting respect on that team. But if we're looking at the teammates he had compared to other teammates the other two had, it's like, oh, you didn't have as much help. I think he had very great depth. Like, you want to go as far as the benches that they had, I know he had a deeper bench than the Mavs teams that Luka had.
Yeah, for sure.
The Bucks team had solid squad. You're looking at Brook Lopez. I forgot about Brook. Brook is in that conversation too.
Bobby Portis came on the bench.
Yeah. I'm talking about, but yeah. So you're looking at who you have supporting that team. The Bucks, you probably debate between the Bucks and the Mavs, of Dirk's Mavs, who had the deeper bench or deeper role players after the stars. So I just feel like Dirk had a little bit less talent around him than the other guys as far as the ranking of it goes. But I got Dirk 3, you got Dirk 5. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this thing, the big two. I'm interested to see who you got number 2, man. I wonder if we flip flopped on this one too.
I would hope not, honestly. As close as it is, probably, I would hope we don't. I hope we got the same one and number 2. At number 2, give me Nikola Jokic. I love Jokic. I believe he's number 2. Got an NBA title already. Already, got championship and finals MVP. Got 2 MVPs. Got 3 All NBA first teams, 5 All Stars, and a silver and now bronze medal after this past summer. Just won bronze. I like Jokic at number 2 because we ain't never seen a big like him that can shoot the 3 like he can, that can pass like he can, best facilitate and passing big men, and can still dominate on the block. He can give you what you want. He is the center version of Luka Doncic. The crazy passes, the shot making, but he's a point center at this point. He can bring the ball down the floor, run the offense, man. Like, we just never seen a guy like him, man. I think he's firmly at number 2, even though he's still in the league. I put him a little above Giannis. I know I put that value in the defensive side of the ball, but what I will take, what would put him over Giannis for me, he already got 2 MVPs to Giannis's 2, obviously, like I said. But what puts him over Giannis for
3.
me, 3, what's 3?
Jokic got 3 MVPs.
Yeah, this past year makes 3, don't it? Dang, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jokic got 3 MVPs to Giannis's 2. And I know you said about defense and stuff, but Jokic with his facilitating, and I feel like Jokic is not a great defender. He's an average defender. But he don't got a lot of bigs going at him like that. And they put him in the pick and roll, and he know how to funnel them to his help. He know he ain't staying in front of people. He gonna send them to the help side. Like, hey, I know somebody over here can help. He know he can't stay in front of guys like that. But the facilitating, I'll take that, man. To be able to get everybody involved while also getting your buckets, that's on LeBron level. You know what I mean? It ain't too many guys that's getting buckets but can also get everybody else involved. It's very few guys who can say that. So give me Jokic as the second best foreign player of all time, man. And I'm ready to hear who you got at your number 2.
I agree. Yeah, it's the point center for me, man. But here's the thing too. I gotta correct this area. I said this earlier that Luka was the only Western Conference MVP. Jokic has one too, so I had to correct myself on that. But his efficiency is up there too. For him to be playing 9 years,
Mm-hmm.
a third of your career, you have. If this man retired right now,
Already Hall of
he
Fame.
probably has the most efficient career in terms of outputs for how many years he played. For him to have 3 MVPs and going on his 10th year, he might win another one. So it'd be 4 out of 10 years. That's stupid. Like, that right there alone is like, who are you and what are you doing over there in Denver? Because that's ridiculous. So 6 all NBA and 6 All Stars, 2 for 9. Like, the efficiencies was crazy right now. I think Luke's gonna be on track to either match that or come close in the area of doing what he's doing too. Do the MVPs reflect what he's doing? Probably not, because he's still playing against him. So there's no telling what Luka might just come out this year and win one. Or Joker says, "Nah, bro, sit your butt back down. Give me another one. Run it back. I need 4 of them."
I
So
need 4.
no telling, man. Giannis might come in conversation like, "Hey, don't forget about me. I wasn't healthy, so put my name back out there." LeBron might say, "Man, this is my last year. Let me go out crazy. MVP level run." Ant-Man might come. We never know. Shea, SGA might come
A lot
in.
of
We don't
variables.
know what's going to happen. There's a lot of names in this list that we can look at. But for this man to be going on year 10 and have 3 MVPs is stupid. Like, that's crazy to me. But I think he's going to continue the longevity. I think he's going to have a fairly long career, and I think he's a good example of what I was talking about earlier about how he's not as mobile of a defender, but his IQ sets him apart to where you can't just take advantage of him. Like nobody says, "Hey, bring me Luka." I mean, bring me Joker. Nobody just says that on a steady diet. Like you might have
Facts.
a play here and there, or a specific player that you want to have him advantage against, but he's so smart to say, "Bro, I'm 7 foot 7'1". I'm gonna play back far enough to my length can contest. I'm gonna play close enough that you can't just easily pull up on me. I'm gonna funnel you to my help because I know it's the what the who I got back there. I might have Michael Porter back there who I can lean on. I might have a small back there, Jamal Murray. I can at least get a good double team where we can switch and I can bump down. We can rotate this way to where I get back to the play I need to defend.
Hmm.
So it's IQ's up to charge with Tim Duncan similar vein of like, I'm not gonna sit here and put me on the island. I'm gonna be smart, do what I need to do, get back to where I need to go, funnel him to Bruce Bowen or whoever I need to get the help with, and we're gonna survive this possession. So I put a lot of respect on Joker, man, for what he's did and the efficiency of what he's done in such a short time span is ridiculous, bro. For him to have go 3 for 9 and finna be 10, that's Hall of Fame, bro. Like, right? This man said, "Yeah, I'm done with this year." Like after this season, he said, "I'm done." I'm like, "Look, bro, Hall of Fame first ballot. Get your butt in there, buddy.
Here's your
You're done."
jacket.
So yeah, it's
Facts.
a lot of respect for Joker, man. That dude is he's on a historic run. So I hope he plays for a good amount of time just to see what we can get from him overall. So, but yeah, that's number 2, man. I got a lot of respect for Joker and what he's doing.
Yeah, man. Can't take nothing away from him, man. He's just too smart. He's so smart. One of the smartest basketball players I've ever seen, or the world has ever seen, honestly. At his size and his lack of athleticism to be able to do what he can
Mm-hmm.
do, dominate the way he dominates, man. I don't think we'll ever see a game from him where he just has like that crazy like 70-point game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But we very well could see he's one of the players like you might see. I would say he's one of the players in the league right now today capable of averaging a triple double. And if he averages a triple double, he's gonna make it look easy. It
Yeah.
ain't gonna be like Russ, how Russ like full speed all the time, playing super hard. Cause he a guard. He gotta play hard to get those rebounds that he get. Stuff like that. He's always gonna be on the attack mode. And not taking nothing away from him, obviously, what he did. If Jokic averages a triple double, the rebound's gonna come easy. The points gonna be, the points. Like, you just watch him post up the back downs. It's just like, yeah, you can't stop me. I'm bigger than you. Throwing up
Mm-hmm.
hooks, all fadeaways, all type of stuff, and it just be going in. The touch is immaculate. The touch he has on the basketball is crazy. Still able to shoot the three. And then, the assist, like, you got to help. You got to double. You got to do something to get the ball out of his hand. And he almost always makes the right read. To the point that he
Mm-hmm.
playing with Serbia in the Olympics this past summer. And these guys look amazing next to him. Because he finding them and this and that. Don't get me wrong. Bogdanovich hitting some tough stuff. The shots he made, all that good stuff. But Jokic is still the guy. He's facilitating for everybody, getting them open. Like playing with him, gotta feel like playing with like the equivalent of playing with like a Steve Nash or like I don't even know. Playing with Nikola Jokic gotta feel like playing with Shaq and Steve Nash at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
never thought them two things would ever coincide. But it's gotta feel like the equivalent of playing with Shaq and Steve Nash at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
if I cut, I'm gonna be open. Or he gonna find me. Or if I wait in this corner when that my man help, he gonna hit me. Stuff like that, man. It's crazy. But man, here we are, number one. The
Yeah. I want to touch on
Go
this
ahead.
too.
I'm sorry.
Like before we pivot, like I think Joker is. I think he would probably be the most fun player to play with, especially on this
Oh, for
list.
sure.
I think of all time players, like everybody, he's one of the easy. I think he's probably going to be one of the easiest teammates to have, and I think as a coach, he's one of the easiest players to
For
coach.
sure.
I think he's probably top 5 on that list, just in terms of like a teammate wise, as far as team chemistry, locker room, all that stuff, but then just his placement on the floor. Like you don't have to, like we talked about with Gobert, you have to be very smart and strategic about how you place him defensively. So you have to be aware of what you're doing. But now on the other end of the floor, you have to plan even more for that. Like, okay, how we had all right, how do we get this offense? Like, you have to really sit down and figure that out. With Joker, it's like, man, put some shooters around you and put some. I think the only issue with him, not issue, but the thing with him is to give him high enough IQ players to where even if you gave him relatively dumb players, they're still gonna look better. But you give him high IQ players, like it's even like it's just on steroids what the offense can look like. So that's the fun can come in more for him. But it's like it's I think it's easy to play with him, which why it's like it's exciting to see him moving forward because it's so much more you can do with him. I hope Gilbert Arenas said this about LeBron when it was in the finals and Bron didn't have either of his boys. He was like, look, this might be the only time you see LeBron put his head down and say, I'm getting buckets this time. The only time you ever seen it in his career. Every other time he's like point forward, a little bit of point guard here, just a playmaker there. You might see a spurt where he's like, put a head down, get bucket, put a head down, get bucket. 8 minute spurt doing that. But you never see him for games do that. And I really hope for one time in our career we see Joker just say, let me just go for 40. Let me just put up 40 balls. Let's just see what we can do here. I really want him to just say just one random February. Just like, man, let me go for 40. Just let's
One
see.
random
It's the
game
shortest month.
February. It's the shortest one.
Just a random. It's the shortest one. So I gotta put too much effort in. Let me see what I can do this month. Like right before All-Star break, so I can get a break after that. So you know I ain't gotta play too many games. So right before All-Star break and right after All-Star break. So I can have a good 10 games, maybe. Probably a little bit less than that. But about 10 games where I just go off for like 30 plus. Joker, if you please, bro. Just for our sake of basketball fans, let's just see you go crazy. Just for one little run, go crazy, and go back to your number triple double self. That's all I want to see. Just have fun and be like, oh, he can get buckets like that too. So let's put more respect on the same. But I just feel like Jokic is one of the easiest players to coach and be with, and I think it should be fun. Like he's one of the dudes I'm like, sign me up to play with him. So, but he's still number two.
Still number two. And man, something you said that I would kind of throw in. I've had this conversation with some of my friends. If there's a handful of players, as if I was to ever make it into the NBA with the skill set that I have just on an NBA level, let's put it that way. If I was still the same player, but like I had those same skill sets and strengths and weaknesses, but NBA level, there's a handful of players that I would love to play with. And Jokic is on that list. Jokic is on that list. Ironically, Luka Doncic is on that list. Unironically, LeBron is on that list. I would say Chris Paul. I would love to play with Chris Paul. And number 5, that 5 spot is kind of interchangeable. Sometimes I say probably Russell Westbrook, honestly. As much as flack as I give him sometimes, I still respect his game, obviously. But Russell Westbrook might be that 5th guy. Sometimes I say somebody like a KD or a Steph Curry would be that 5th guy because of, what they can provide. I would probably say Steph over KD. So maybe Steph probably might take that 5th spot just playing with him and the attention that he takes. But by them names I just gave, y'all can see facilitators. Why? Because my position, what I do, is dependent on somebody else being able to do what they do. And I know that about myself. I know I am not the scorer. I know I'm not the guy that's going to give you 20 a night. Can I give you 20 on a random Tuesday? Yeah, probably. I didn't get, my last year of college, I had 3 20-point games. Was it 3? I had 20 against Miles, Augusta, Tuskegee, Aiken. 4 20-point games. Did I have 20 against? So let's just say 4. That ain't about me. I had 4 20-point games my last year of college. And I know I could not have averaged that. Those 20-point games I had, I was very efficient. I had a game that I was 10 for 12. Another game that I think I was like, I want to say I was like 11 for like 13. Missed 4 shots in 2 games. You know what I mean? And them games back to back. Against Augusta, I had 20 points. I want to say I was like 8 for like 12, something like that. Very efficient. But I can't do that all the time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just not me right now. I can obviously get better if if you run the offense through me, could I score 20 more? Obviously, yes. But there's going to be bad nights. I know I'm not scoring like that all the time. You give me a guy like a Luka, a Jokic, a LeBron, or a Chris Paul, I know I can be a Daniel Gafford, Aaron Gordon, a Kevin Love, or a DeAndre Jordan. You did what I'm saying? I can do that. I can't jump as high as Aaron Gordon and Daniel Gafford or DeAndre Jordan. I'm not 7 foot. I'm not trying to say I'm them guys. That's why I say if you
Mm-hmm.
turn me up to an NBA level skill set or what I can still do, I can do that for them guys. I like because they gonna find you. They gonna make the right decision. I ain't gotta make the right decision all the time. They gonna do it. And I'm the guy that's gonna roll. You can throw the lob. I'm gonna go get it. I can be in that corner for that tray ball, all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm sorry. You just put that in my mind. I've said that multiple times. I would love to play with Luka. I would love to play with Jokic. I would love to play with LeBron or Chris Paul because I know I need those guys who can find me. I'm not gonna get it out the mud. I ain't KD. I ain't Anthony Edwards or James Harden. I need somebody to hit me. I need somebody to find me. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be in the right spots a lot of times. But it's up to that guy to make that decision to hit me for the right, for in my spots. You know what I mean? So yeah, a lot of respect for what Jokic can do. And I ain't gonna lie to you, this ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But Aaron Gordon, if you know like I know, if you know like I know, you better be walking by him, shaking his hand, paying for dinner every now and then. Cause he gonna be the reason you get paid. Not nobody else. In all honesty, not nobody else. Now the dunk contest, all that good stuff, you did your thing. When it comes to on the court production, Jokic is the reason you gonna get paid. The day you decide to lead the Nuggets for a better deal, it's gonna be because of Nikola Jokic. When you get that, I don't know, the NBA contract so crazy now. He might be getting that 4 year, 160 mil, whatever. You better slide by Nikola Jokic's locker and be like, hey, yo, appreciate what you did for me, bro. Just saying. Like, I ain't trying to say you ain't talented, but what you doing for the Nuggets, every team ain't got that Nikola Jokic to throw you that lob or find you on them cuts for them dunks consistently. So before you sign that 160 M's, 180 M's, whatever you get when you lead the Nuggets, he might just decide to stay with Nikola Jokic his whole career. But before you ink that deal, just make sure you hit him. Be like, hey, bro, I wanted to make sure I told you I appreciate everything. If it wasn't for you, I don't know what this contract might have looked like. So, yeah, man. I'm sorry I ain't want to get on that long little tangent, but I appreciate guys like that, man. He turned them boys up. Luka, Daniel Gafford. When Daniel Gafford signed that deal, Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, them guys, when they played with Bron, I hope they slid by Bron Locker. Hey, Bron, appreciate you. So, yeah. Are we ready to get to the number one?
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and crown our international player ranking number one. And it's obviously it has to be this guy. We done went through all these other names, all these other guys. It's without further ado, let's do this. Let's set up like this. Coming in at the number one spot, this man played 18 years in the NBA. He is a Hall of Famer, a two-time, not only two-time, but back-to-back champion. You go along with those championships that looks real nice beside it. Two Finals MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
He was also the MVP of the league in 93-94 season.
Mm-hmm.
12-time All NBA, 12-time All Star, two-time DPOY, nine-time All Defensive Team.
Oof.
That's impressive. And you already mentioned it earlier. He is number one all time in the NBA in blocks. Without further ado, we are crowning the number one player in our international, foreign, non-U.S. hoopers, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. It's number one.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Dream, man. Put on for the African brothers. You know what I mean? Quite literally. You did not have Mutombo in your top 10, correct? Or you had him number 10, something like that?
He's number
You
10.
had him number 10. Then you got Joel Embiid. Hakeem is literally the only African on the list in the top 5. I know some people want to say Giannis should be quoted African, but he's from Greece and he claimed Greece. He played for Greece in the Olympics. He from Greece. You know what I mean? I think his dad is Nigerian. Then you got Mutombo number 10. I had him number 8, so a little bit higher. But Joel Embiid, who is still currently playing, you know, we both had him. I had him 7, you had him 6. Dream, the only one in that top 5 represent for Africa. Everybody else European. And I just want to throw that out there just because I feel like that should be stated. So not only the best all-time foreign basketball player, non-American basketball player, also the best from Africa, the only one in the top 5. Africa, a big continent. I know they still kind of catching up in the basketball department, but it's a lot of African basketball players, so I don't want to act like that's a small feat. You talking about number 1 from Africa, number 1 in the world. If there was a USA versus world team, he's starting at center. And, you know, we got Jokic, we got Embiid, we got Mutombo, we got those guys. We got a lot of great foreign centers, actually. Dream starting at center. And I don't want no ifs, ands, or buts. If there was a world versus USA all-time game, Dream starting at center for the world. Quite literally, maybe the best two-way player of all time. Talking about giving you buckets on the other end, but giving you defense, locking up on the other end. Dream is probably the best example of two-way. Like, that's another conversation for another day. But Dream, what he could do for you on offense and on defense is unmatched in like all time. It's a lot of great players that provided offense and defense. You got your Giannis that could do that. You got your Embiid who could give you buckets and defense. Shoot, you got your LeBrons who could give you buckets and defense. You got your Kawhis who give you buckets and defense. But as I mentioned before with Giannis, only 3 players have ever won MVP and DPOY in the same year. And it is Hakeem Olajuwon. And just to go past that, Hakeem has one of the most complete NBA seasons ever. Winning an MVP, a DPOY, winning the championship, winning finals MVP, first team All-NBA, first team All-Defense. It ain't too many guys saying that. Michael Jordan had a similar year. And Giannis obviously was the third player to win MVP and DPOY in the same year. But even that year, he didn't win the championship. So only Dream and Michael Jordan got one of the most, they did everything, seasons ever. Only them two got them seasons to where it's like they did everything. Or won every award. Give them everything, any accolade you can have in that season, give it to them. So, I think he's deserving of his number 1 spot. Could he be passed? For sure he could. There's potential for, the guys we named that's still playing to pass him and become the best all-time foreign player. But it's going to be hard. Because as of right now, as we stand, the guys we named, Hakeem Olajuwon is the only person most people would have a consensus top 10 all time. We didn't talk about top 10s and all that good stuff. I'm pretty sure both of us have Hakeem in our top 10 all time. But we ain't putting Jokic in top 10 yet. Embiid is not top 10 yet. Luka is not top 10 yet. A lot of people probably have Dirk in that top 20 range, 25, whatever. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, man. What else can you say? Is Hakeem the Dream, man, putting on for the motherland. So number one for me.
Yeah, man. That was an easy pick, man. I tried to make a strong case of why Joker could be,
Right.
but like out of everybody else on our top 10 list, Joker is the only one. I wouldn't look at you crazy if you said he was in your top 10. I wouldn't look at you crazy. I wouldn't agree, but I wouldn't. I'm like,
I wouldn't say
not mad at it.
that.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree. I'm like, okay, I get because once again, the efficiency. Like, if you retire right now, I'm like, bro, 3 for 10 sounds crazy.
Facts.
3 MVPs out of 10 years sounds crazy. Finals MVP, like all it sounds amazing. But he gets a slight asterisk because you don't have the longevity. So his numbers gonna look a little weird.
Of
Of like
course. All time.
he ain't you ain't got 20,000 points, buddy. You ain't got the 10,000 rebounds or the 10,000 assists, and he could probably let me look at the stats again. He could probably the assists are questionable, but he could probably hit 20-10-10. Like he depending on how he wants to push his career and how he plays the next couple of years, he probably could be 20
And
10
that's the
10.
thing when it comes to Jokic and Luka. How long do y'all really want to do this? You know, because they just have that demeanor. They are very competitive. They want to win. Don't get me wrong, but they just have that demeanor of I ain't gonna do this all my life.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
ain't like Bron and them where it's like they gonna play till the wheels fall off. You know, they got that aura of them like I've been in this 15 years. We just won the championship. I was the MVP. I'm good. And the world gonna be
yeah,
like, but you got so much left in the tank. He gonna be like, I'm gonna go home to my horses. So that's the only
yeah,
thing. But obviously he got some years to play. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah. I just think that's this because I think him and Brown are probably the only players in both of those
Yeah,
of 2,000 points. I mean 20,000. Excuse me. Just ain't that 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists. So I believe he can get the points. I believe he can get the rebounds because he's averaging basically 11 rebounds a game right now. I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. So the assists, he's averaging basically 7 assists. So he could get there. It's questionable, but I think he has a good shot at getting there. So I think out of everybody too, he would probably slow down the least of everybody else because one, he's not losing athletic. Like when Giannis slows down, it's gonna be noticeable.
oh yeah.
When Embiid slows down, it's gonna be noticeable. Luka slows down, nah, that's noticeable. But once again, he's a guard. He's on the perimeter, so it's gonna be different for him. I'm already jumping over a toothpick with the vert I got now, bro. I'm in my prime, so ain't too much slowing down you can get from me. Slowing down is going to be me not wanting to hoop no more. So for him, he's most likely this. His prime might extend a little bit longer than everybody else's because he's not having to adapt his game as much because he's had the same game his whole career. Like what athleticism am I losing? I had none, so I can't lose what I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably has the best chance to have the longest career because his skill and IQ is so high already that the more the years come, the more he sees more things, the more he's able to adapt and improve his game. It's like, bro, the only thing you probably could pick a hardest game is probably shooting, but he can become a better shooter. It's not that hard for him to do. So he has potential to become even better. But for right now, he's number two, man. But shout out to Dream, man. Like that dude is a beast, man. So that's solid top 10. Man. I think Jokic probably the only one I could squeeze in that top 10 list, and I wouldn't be looking at you crazy. I wouldn't do it. I don't agree, but I won't look at you being like, well, you smoking. Like if you said Luka top 10 right now, I'm like, bro, go get
No
drug tested.
facts.
'Cause it's just
It's a
no way.
difference between you're crazy and I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? If somebody did it, if somebody put them in there, you'd be like, I wouldn't do that, but I understand. But it's like other guys and B, Luca, you put them in top 10 right now, you crazy. Like, you know, If somebody drove their car on the highway 100 miles per hour, you'd be like, you crazy. If somebody drove their car 80 miles per hour on the highway, you'd be like, I probably wouldn't do that. But, all right. But just to reiterate, man, just to go over the list again, from bottom to top, number 10, we got, actually, no, it's top to bottom, just sounds better. Number 1, we got Hakeem Olajuwon, Hakeem the Dream, as the best overall all-time foreign player, non-American NBA player. Number 2, we got Nikola Jokic, our highest ranked, still currently playing foreigner. Number 3, we got Giannis Antetokounmpol. Number 4, Luka Doncic. Number 5, Dirk Nowitzki. For me, I'm sorry, let me first say this is for me. Number 1, Hakeem Olajuwon. Number 2, Nikola Jokic. Number 3, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Number 4, Luka Doncic. Number 5, Dirk Nowitzki. Number 6, Steve Nash. Number 7, Joel Embiid. Number 8, Dikembe Mutombo. Number 9, Pau Gasol. And number 10, Tony Parker.
Yeah, so I got Dream number 1, Jokic number 2, Dirk number 3, Giannis number 4, Luka number 5, Joel Embiid number 6, Steve Nash number 7, Pau Gasol number 8, Patrick Ewing number 9, and Dikembe Mutombo rounded it off at 10. It's a good list, man.
Solid, brother. I like it. Let's look at something real quick. Nikola Jokic, the highest ranking Serbian. Giannis, the only Greek. Luka is born in Lithuania. Am I tripping? Is it Lithuania? Mm-hmm. Is that right? Lithuania. Yeah. Dirk, the highest ranking German. Steve Nash, the highest ranking Canadian. Joel Embiid, highest ranking Cameroonian, for what that's, for how much that's worth.
Oh, Slovenia. That's
Slovenia. I'm glad you corrected.
I want to respect the countries. I ain't trying to.
Don't want that smoke.
So. Yeah, Slovenia.
Luka's from Slovenia, highest ranking Slovenia. Pau Gasol, highest ranking Spaniard, and then Tony Parker, the highest ranking Frenchman. So if you look at it, the whole top 10 is from different countries, and I like that. I like that no one country owns like basketball outside of America. Now you could say one country has more. Obviously, Germany, Spain, France, they got a lot more NBA players than other countries like Serbia and them. But they're bigger countries, so that should be a given when it comes to basketball. But Serbia is a small country, and they got the best player in the world. Greek, a pretty small country, got what you would say second, third, whatever, another top 5 player in the world. Luka Doncic from Slovenia, smaller than Serbia. They got a top 5 player in the world. Germany, obviously a big country, got Dirk Nowitzki, but a top 5, top 3 all-time player, foreign player, you know what I mean? Top 20 all-time player if you want to go there. Steve Nash from Canada. Obviously, Canada's a pretty big country. They got several NBA players just above America, but Steve Nash is the best Canadian. So I just like that, the top 10 is almost 10 different countries. It's not almost. Top 10 is 10 different countries for both of us. And then, Joel Embiid, Mutombo, Patrick Ewing, Hakeem, they all from Africa, but all from different countries. No, do Jamaica count as African? Or is that like that's an African country, right? Or is that an American colony?
I think it's more Americanized at this point.
Is Jamaica an American colony? Let's look that up real quick.
Caribbean. It's a country in the Caribbean.
Yeah, country in the Caribbean. But the Caribbean is not a continent. Like, you know what I mean? Does that even matter?
I mean...
Okay, so it counts as being part of North America.
Yeah, I see. I saw that too.
Yeah, so... All right, so I'm sorry to my Jamaican viewers. I didn't mean to diminish, what y'all stand for. So... we got two players in there from Mutombo and Embiid and Hakeem. 3 players from Africa in there, and we got 1 from the Caribbean, and then everybody else everybody else is also from different countries. So I think that's nice that the Lord spread the talent around outside of the U.S. So now we don't have no one country being like they can beat the U.S. in basketball. That's more why I appreciate it. Because could you imagine if Luka, Jokic, and like Bogdanovic was all from Serbia, and then we had to play them in the Olympics? I'd be nervous. I'd be more than nervous. I'd be scared.
Hey, but that French team in a couple
Ooh,
years.
Victor Wembanyama, he might be on this list here soon. I mean, he was just in his first year. No, Luka ain't going into year 7. 7 years from now, we could be saying same thing about Wemby. We could be like, dang, sorry, Mutombo. Sorry, Patrick.
Oh, both of y'all. Twink, bump down 2 spots for me, buddy.
Vic got to get in there. I would not be surprised at all. But could you
Yeah,
go ahead?
if we did this back in 2 years, I think we'd be looking at this list different. I think just give him 2
Yeah, for
years.
sure. We gonna already be. He gonna be in that honorable mention already, at the least. But yeah, this was fun, bro. I appreciate you. I liked giving shout outs to the world as far as basketball goes, not just American players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I think this is a needed conversation because this is a whole geography lesson for real. Trying to figure out what is a country and what is like. Some people still think Africa's a country and it's a whole
That's
continent.
why I had to make sure I always specify like it's everybody on this list from a different country.
Yeah. So, and then just figuring out where it was like a cool little experiment to see where people were from. Because somebody like Jordan Clarkson, you think, oh, he's American. But like, no, he has a little Philippine in him, and this person got Bahama in him, and this person got like DeAndre Ayton got Bahamas in him, and
Mm-hmm.
Cat has where's Cat from? You think he's Dominican
Yeah,
Republican?
I think his mom is.
Yeah, and it's just fun kind of seeing where players are kind of from, and like, oh, they're not American like we thought they were, and this person got this, and this person got that. So it was a fun experiment to kind of go through, and just kind of we got to get some more geography lessons because we know what Jamaica was for sure. So
I
shout
knew it
out
was
to
part of the Caribbean, but I never knew. Like, I mean, I guess I never thought about it either. But I never knew the Caribbean kind of is like, is that part of Africa? We just call it the Caribbean, or is that part of North America? I know it ain't that far from here, though. I mean, not from here where I am physically, but from America. So,
yeah, like the little details and nuances like that we got to brush up on because um like somebody that might be listening is like, where's Tim Duncan at? Well, Tim Duncan's from the Virgin Islands, which is
U.S. colony.
U.S. territory, so not on this list. You know, somebody like if somebody was from Puerto Rico, that'd be a different conversation. Like think Carlos Arroyo's from there. He wouldn't be on this list, but just for the sake of you know having his what if he might be in that conversation because even though it's U.S. territory, Puerto Rico still is a country that competes against U.S. So that's kind of what I thought about it too. Is like, could you compete against us in the Olympics? So that's where I kind of framed that around. And like Aaliyah Boston, she's gonna be playing for U.S. whenever her opportunity comes. So she's from the Virgin Islands too, like Timmy is. So that's how I kind of framed it around. Like, can they play with us or against us when the Olympic comes? Are they from here, born here, or their parents born somewhere else, wherever? So that's kind of how we frame this work of who's going to be on this list and who's not. So overall, this was fun, man. I think this is a nice little piece to throw in there as far as our arc we're on. Believe it or not, we're almost done with this arc too, man. We're almost wrapping it up. We're gonna have a fun one to kick it off. I mean, wrap everything up with. So, uh, if y'all been looking at the cover art, y'all should kind of get an idea where we headed with this. I'm not gonna spoil anything. We're gonna end this last one on a fun piece, man. So, for all my anime fans, if you're not an anime fan, then I don't know what to tell you. You feel me? So if you're not a Naruto anime fan, I want to tell you, still listen, still watch the episode, but you just won't fully get everything. Like just play it in the background while you clean your room, and I want that view. But just don't skip the episode.
Need that.
You feel me? Need that all of play it back twice. But for Naruto and anime fans, y'all gonna have fun on this next one. But anything else you want to say for the people before we get out of here?
That's it for me, brother. Shout out to Dream.
Shout out to Dream. It was all a dream. Appreciate you, man. That was a great career. But appreciate you, Nelson, man. It's a fun episode. We're gonna get out of here, man. Let the people enjoy the rest of their day or their night, whatever they got going on. But appreciate you for watching. Appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you like this video because it's a dope one. Make sure that you share it with somebody else too, because you might think that my list was like, bro, why don't you have Tony Parker in your top 10? And I'm like, why do you have him in top 10? Like, let's go. Because he got him in his top 10, but I don't. It's all good. Somebody might look at this and be like, bro, Argentina, it's not well represented here. Manu Ginobili needs to be in that list. And I'm looking at you and like, you're still wrong because he's not better than in my top 10. So that's cool. Shout out to him, but no. So you might look at me and say, hey, Dikembe, man, it's a legend. You're right. He's number 10 on my legend list. Like, it's good. So you might look at this and say, hey, Joker should be number 1. I'm gonna look at you and say, hey, he's number 2. That's done. But
That's all.
but I want to let me know in the comments, man, what y'all think. Is the ranking right or wrong? Should somebody be higher? Should somebody be lower? Let us know what you think, man. But comment, like, share, make sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching and tuning in. See you on the next video.
Peace.